What's up, college baseball fans? Welcome to another episode of the 11.7 podcast. We are here previewing every single regional, making our picks. We'll do our Omaha 8. The bracket has been released, and we have some fun little side options that we're going to be picking as well, like, easiest regional, toughest path, best uniform regional, similar to the same thing we did last year. We're going to be looking at betting odds as well, trying to find some value on the board as far as like who's going to win the regionals. There's a few sports books out there that have already posted lines. And on top of that, like, we're just going to talk about maybe some teams that are being undervalued. And just really, there is no plan for this show. Ultimately, we will make our picks. We'll give you reasons why, and you guys can decide if you love us or hate us because of that. We are here brought to you by our partners over at Home Field Apparel. There's not a ton of merch left after the college baseball retro pullover and hat drop, but there is still some available. So you guys use our promo code CWS24. It's 15% off. And we're all kind of I know I am. They sent me this awesome Northern Kentucky. If you're on the YouTube, you can see it. Northern Kentucky old school baseball shirt jersey. Incredible material. Makes me look thin. It's nice. Jack's rocking the TCU hat there. Dimitri is not rocking Home Field, but he is rocking the SEMO Redhawks hat that he was sent sometime this year.
The official team licensed apparel of the SEMO Redhawks.
Yep. But anyways, we got boxes of stuff. And they sent me about 8 shirts, 4 pullovers, 3 hats. It's big time. So you guys check it out. It's homefieldapparel.com. And they're sending our winner of the Weekend Series Pick'em and Survivor contest to Omaha. So we'll get to party with them. All right, boys, let's get down to it. A couple more announcements. My bad. If you guys want to join our D1baseball.com bracket challenge every year, I'll share my screen here. Every year, D1 Baseball puts together a bracket challenge where you have to pick the winner and runner-up for each regional, and then pick your super regional winners and your Omaha. So that's what we're going to be filling out here. It looks kind of like this if you're on the YouTube. And if you guys want to join our group, it's just called 11.7. Don't have an official prize yet. Maybe a sponsor, advertiser might want to give away a prize pack. If not, we're completely okay giving away Kendall Rogers' cell phone number. We have it. That's a fun prize.
Whoa, we have it? What a flex, dude.
Yeah, no. No, he's got our number. He's got our phone number. But yeah, it's fun to do. It's fun. It's competitive. If there is a prize, we will let you guys know before Friday. If not, bragging rights is big. And then I know D1 Baseball is giving away their own prize, like for the top people. In fact, I can look up that prize here. Maybe not. I don't know.
Go back. No, it was there. It's on top of the bracket.
Yeah, they are giving away like money and these cool little bats, soldier tank bats. I don't know. You guys can read about the prizes there on their website. But yeah, the group is just 11.7. Anyways, let me stop sharing my screen there real fast. Perfect. We're close to 1,000 YouTube subscribers. I think we're at like 910. So let's get to 1,000, because I think if we do, Jack and I are planning on doing like an all-day stream Friday, Club Omaha edition. It's not guaranteed yet. There's some moving parts. Jack might be going to Greenville, North Carolina. He might be going to Chapel Hill. He might be going to Raleigh.
I think
a lot of different moving parts. But if he's at home, him and I will do a Club Omaha for probably 12 hours. We'll call it 11.7 hours. And it'll be electric. It'll be fun.
I think Jack should stay home Friday, do Club Omaha, and then hit the road Saturday morning.
Well, I mean, someone might be willing to pay for his trip up there to North Carolina to cover some games. So he's got a little sponsorship in the work as well. But at the end of the day, like, if you guys are new to college baseball, if you're new to 11.7, this is the tournament that, I mean, it's the best postseason tournament in all of sports. 64 teams divided into 16 brackets, double elimination, 4 teams per bracket. And, I mean, there is times where it's very chalky. The 1 seeds sometimes all advance, or like the 1 and the 2 seeds. But then every year you'll get some 3 and 4 seeds, some teams that are equivalent to, a 13 to 16 team in the NCAA basketball tournament to advance. And that's when it gets really fun. The way that the bracket, usually works is like you're going to see maybe 1 or 2 big upsets in regionals day one. Last year, I think there was 3-4 seeds that beat a 1 seed. Ryder. Who were Ryder, Oral Roberts, and who? Somebody else won a big one last year. Teams coming out of nowhere. Penn, that's right. This year, I have 2 teams, 2 4 seeds that I think could potentially win that first game. And we'll talk about that here in a little bit. But anyways, before we get started, boys, do you guys have any opening thoughts? Do you guys have anything that you want to get off your chest? Because I'm sure there's going to be a ton of word vomit here over the next hour and a half.
Best time of the year. I think regional weekend is a top 3, and it's not second or third best sports weekend of the year. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love NFL football. Probably one of my favorite sports. I love the playoffs. I love all the football every weekend. It's huge. But March Madness has been falling down my ranking. It's not the same for me anymore. College baseball regional weekend, since I was a little kid, has been the number 1 sports weekend of the year for me.
100%. And you're the only one out of us 3 that even got to play in a regional, right? Jack missed out. I missed out twice.
Baby.
Sucks.
2013, Starkville Regional, Mississippi State, Central Arkansas, South Alabama, Mercer, and then 2015, Florida State, Auburn, College of Charleston, and Mercer. And we went 0-4 in my 2 regionals. We lost an extra inning game to Central Arkansas. We lost a extra inning game to Florida State. We lost extra inning game to Central Arkansas. We lost 1-0 to Auburn. So in our 4 losses, we're combined 3 rounds.
Yeah. And dude, growing up as a kid, here's a little story about myself. You know, I never wanted to play pro baseball, right? Like obviously if the opportunity came, I would have. But like growing up, going to regionals at Rice, University of Houston, Texas, growing up in that Houston area, all I wanted to do was play in an NCAA regional. And, you know, the environments are always cool. I never got to do it. I missed out twice in the the SoCon championship game when we won the regular season. But man, it was always a dream. I think I've been to 11 regionals in my life, and I don't know if I could rank them 1 through 11. Like they have all been special. If you live near a regional within a 2-hour driving distance, highly recommend just go watch. If you need help with tickets, reach out to us. We may be able to pull some strings for you. But we want this sport of college baseball to grow, and we want to show off the product because like once you're in, you're hooked, right? So whether you're a gambler, whether you're just somebody that favorite NFL team, or you know what I mean, like if your favorite sports team's not playing, definitely give college baseball a shot. But anyways. With all that being said, let's dive into the regional.
Okay, what? Say one more thing about people. Selection Monday might be the biggest day of the year in terms of attention for college baseball. So many people attend. Of course, negative news is what goes viral. And there's always negative news on Selection Monday. Nobody is like, oh my God, so-and-so got in. It's always so-and-so didn't get in. And 2014, we were the last 4 out. We were literally the first team out. Clemson got in over us, and it was bullshit. We should have been in, but we didn't deserve it because we lost like 4 of our last 6 games in the year. 1 and 2 in the conference tournament. So, but my point is, when you see those Power 5 teams get in over you, just move on, because I watched every single pitch of Clemson regional. They lost by 20 to Oregon in that.
I remember that. Yeah,
regional. They lost, but I think they lost like 22-2 or something like that. And let me tell you, I don't think I've ever been more mad and more salty in my life than those 9 watching that game. Just move on. Enjoy some other game. Just move on. It is what it is. It happens to the best of us. I was lucky to get 2 other opportunities. So for those, if any of you are listening that, got snubbed or you just missed or you were really close but just fell the last couple of weeks of the season, the best thing you can do is just move on. Like it's going to eat you alive. If the more you think about it and dream about it, just move on.
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought that up. We will pick your favorite team for you. If your team's not in it, we have plenty of reasons to pick maybe an underdog, dark horse, something like that for you, which I will be throwing out a few different teams this episode that I fell in love with. So let's start here, boys. Let's start with the this is just the most accessible sports book that I have. Bet Rivers here. I'm sharing my screen on the YouTube, but they have some cool prop bets just real fast. If you go to the baseball tab, go to NCAA, and they have the specials tab that I tweeted out from my personal account. Let's go over these here first before we touch into the regionals. I think these are pretty bad odds, but just something to think about. A non-Power 5 school to win the College World Series. So that's anything that's not ACC, Big 12, Big 10, Pac-12, SEC.
So bad.
Yeah, plus 600 for a non-Power 5 school to win the College World Series. Look, maybe they're on to something, and they believe in that 8-year theory that we always talk about where a mid-major or non-Power 5 wins the College World Series every 8 years. But plus 600 seems very, very low. I would put it at probably plus 1,000 and plus 1,200 in my opinion. You do get good teams like UC Santa Barbara, Dallas Baptist, UC Irvine, Southern Miss, Louisiana Lafayette, and then like pretty much every 4 seed. Yeah, East Carolina as well. So like if you do want to sprinkle that just for funsies, something where you don't have to bet each individual mid-major team, then do it. But I think plus 600 is terrible value. What do you think, Jack?
You could wait and save, and like when they actually have your Omaha 8, if it's one of those non-Power 5 schools, the line is probably going to be even higher even when you get to Omaha. So wait, save your value. It's coming, even if they do get there.
Great point. Wait for them to make a super and then take.
Yeah,
right.
That's a no-brainer.
Or a regional final and then take a couple of the teams, whatever.
Yeah, like I know when Oral Roberts made it last year, I think they were plus 1,100 when they got to Omaha. Now, obviously, there's better teams than that Oral Roberts team last year on that crazy run. But yeah, plus 600 right now is just not worth it. Perfect run. Any team to go 10-0 in the College World Series, meaning that they sweep through a regional, sweep through supers, and sweep through.
Shot.
Yeah, look, plus 550 for that. I don't know if I would touch it if it was plus 5,000. Like I think this is significantly too low. I think it's happened a couple times recently, not recently, but over the last 20 years. I think it happened once. But dude, this field is just so competitive. I personally think there's 24 teams that could win it all, like has the potential to win it all and has shown like flashes in the pan. But a team to go 10-0 at plus 550 is ridiculous. There honestly should be like a no option there. Like no team goes 10-0, like minus 800. That would be worth it. A 4 seed to reach Omaha. They've already bumped this up from plus 200 to plus 400, meaning any 4 seed. You get all 16 4 seeds. Do they win a regional? Do they win a super regional? Again, this is about a fifth of what it should be, right? Maybe not a fifth, but at least a third.
1,200 minimum.
1,200, 1,500, somewhere in there. It's so rare for a 4 seed to get to Omaha, let alone win a regional, right? For a 4 seed to win a regional, you got to win game 1. Like I don't think there's ever been a 4 seed who lost game 1 of the regional and has come through the losers bracket. So you have to look at like teams that could win game 1 of a regional first, and like most of them are going to be higher than plus 400.
That's what
like that's what we're getting at. That is a ridiculous thing. That should be probably plus 2,000. It is what it is. But this one's cool. I'm glad they put this one up. The conference that wins the College World Series. You get the SEC at minus 200, ACC plus 300. So heavy favorite for SEC.
I cannot believe they're giving. They're basically saying the American Athletic. The big
Wait, hold on, Dimitri. I haven't gone over the rest yet. You can say that point, but let me just read the odds. So SEC minus 200, ACC plus 300, Big 12 plus 1,200, Pac-12 plus 1,200, Sun Belt plus 4,000, and Big 10 plus 5,000. And then any other field, like any other conference, is plus 800, which is the third best odds.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. They're basically saying we have more faith in the Big West, the American Athletic, and the West Coast Conference, which would be San Diego, Big West, Irvine, and Santa Barbara. American Athletic would be East Carolina. I'm talking just top seeds, not even including Tulane. And then you've got your Missouri Valley, with Indiana State. So it's like basically they're saying all those conferences combined, those non-Power 5 conferences, have a better shot than the Big 12, Pac-12, or Sun Belt or Big 10. That's pretty crazy to me.
Yeah, it is crazy. So those are some of the fun special odds. They also have, let me go here, regional winners. So this is what we're going to be talking about for a lot of the episode, just like value on each regional. For example, here, like the Athens regional, Georgia's a -180 favorite. And then Georgia Tech as a 3 seed is plus 300, UNC Wilmington plus 450, and then Army plus 3,000.
Wait, shouldn't we go through our bracket, make our pick, and then just go through the odds after?
Yeah, I think we should just go one by one. Like we'll look at the odds here, and then I can switch over to the bracket. Does that make sense? Like let's just make our picks one by one, and then I can fill out the bracket on the D.
I was thinking we make our bracket without any betting odds in mind, and then we go back and we kind of just go through the betting odds.
All right, fine. You want to?
Because
that's fine.
Making the bracket has nothing to do with odds. You know what I mean?
Okay. So basically, what you're saying is let's fill out our bracket and then go back and look at the odds.
Yeah.
Jack, I'll let you be the deciding factor. What do you want to do?
Good with that. Boom. Let's do it.
All
bracket.
Right. All right. Perfect. Sorry about this. It's early morning Wednesday that we're recording. I'm caffeinated up, as you guys can probably tell.
Coffee Jack.
But yeah, all right, let's do this. Tennessee bracket. Tennessee, Northern Kentucky, Indiana, Southern Miss, Knoxville. I am wearing a Northern Kentucky shirt right now from home field. And let's just do like a little round table. All right, boys. Is there any chance that Tennessee does not win this regional? Like, are they going to lose twice here?
I mean, I just don't see it happening. I mean, I don't think Southern Miss has the pitching depth that they've had in years past, or else I would feel very dangerous about them. They'd get the rematch. Tennessee got them in Hattiesburg last year after they were really pissed off for not getting that super regional bid to host that super. They had to go to Hattiesburg. Chase Burns came out of the bullpen, was absolutely electric in that super regional. Tennessee at home, hard to beat. I just don't see Indiana or Southern Miss having the gas to get out of there.
Yeah, and for what it's worth, Tennessee is a -400 favorite to win this regional, and I mean that's the biggest by far. Look, I like Southern Miss, I like Indiana, I like Northern Kentucky. I've done my research on all three of those teams. If they were in any other regional, I think there's a chance that they could all make noise. Even Northern Kentucky. Northern Kentucky is one of the best offenses in the country, led by one of Jack's boys, what's his name? Liam Ackerman. Yeah. He's got two last names. Sorry. But anyways, like they can hit the lights out of the ball, but they hit team ERA of like a 9 point something. They give up a lot of runs. I think the only chance that somebody else could win this regional would be Southern Miss, and that's winning those first two games and then pretty much bullpenning it like they did in the Sun Belt tournament. Like Billy Oldham gets them off to a hot start over Indiana. Nico Mazza, game 2 against Tennessee, maybe throws them off balance. I don't know. But the depth that Tennessee has and like how they ran through that SEC tournament was something special. I think Tennessee is the clear-cut favorite here.
Have you guys seen the ticket prices? Have y'all seen ticket prices for this game? I know you guys tweeted it out, but
yeah, dude, nuts. I mean,
this is going to be so insane. It's the last year before Tennessee's renovations kick it. Like this place is going to be absolutely bonkers. I don't see them losing a game. I did fall in love with Southern Miss though last week in Montgomery. I think they've got a lot of really fun pieces. I think they beat Indiana. I think Tennessee's just too much in game 2. They give them a run for their money in game 4, but I don't know, man. I don't see these Vols losing anytime soon.
Look,
I mean, Rice State was able to pitch it. Rice State was able to pitch that year they went to Knoxville. I mean, it was like, I don't know, 6-3, 6-4 or something like that before Gilbert Grand Slam. Rice State was able to pitch it. That's why that game was close. And even then, Tennessee still ran through it after that Grand Slam. They got lucky, and then they just ran through it. It's hard to beat them twice.
Yeah, and look, Northern Kentucky does have like a solidified Friday guy. Like they have a guy, I'm pulling up his name right here, Tanner Gillis, like a fifth-year senior, 6'3", 220. He's put up the best pitching numbers on the staff by far. He is the only one under a 5 ERA that's qualified, but 72 innings pitched, 80 strikeouts, only 7 home runs. He usually goes. Look, I'm looking at his stats right here. Like he goes about 6 1/3, 7, 8 innings per start. So like maybe he can keep Tennessee off balance and they can jump out to an early lead. But look, guys, like at the end of the day, Tennessee is going to win this regional. It sucks for Southern Miss winning the Sun Belt and then going to the number 1 overall seed who you faced last year in a super. That sucks. But one more thing I was doing some research on, like Indiana, their best pitcher, their Friday guy, is a lefty, and Southern Miss statistically is bad against lefties. So if Indiana can win game 1, I don't know. Like they may give Tennessee.
It depends on which Indiana team shows up.
That's the point I was trying to get at. Yeah.
If the Devin Taylors of the world show up and really compete this weekend, I see Indiana being the team that can give Tennessee a run for their money. I think Southern Miss can too, but it depends on which Indiana team shows up. Their good one can win this regional. Yeah,
100%. Who am I going to pick as the runner-up? I'll go Southern Miss as a runner-up. Not that it like matters, obviously, but I'll just throw Southern Miss in there. I think 90% of people are going to do exactly what I just did. Tennessee, Southern Miss, 1, 2. All right. Well, actually, let's just go across. Let's go to Lexington, Kentucky, Western Michigan, Illinois, Indiana State. So Kentucky minus 180 favorite to win the regional. Indiana State plus 275. Illinois plus 550, and Western Michigan plus 2,500. What are we thinking here, boys? I really like this Kentucky team. I'm just going to throw that out there right now.
Oh my God, dude! Can you see a world where Indiana State wins this regional? UC Irvine wins the Corvallis regional. Indiana State gets their super that they never got.
Yeah, no. Listen, Indiana State's a damn good baseball team. Ranked 9, 10 in the RPI. They've battle tested. Like going into Lexington is not going to be difficult as far as the travel's not far. The home crowd is good. It's really solid, but it's not like pull your hair out wild like Knoxville would probably be or somebody like that. So obviously Indiana State gets a tough first round matchup. I know everybody's sleeping on this Illinois team, but they did win the Big Ten by 3 games in the regular season. I personally think Kentucky sweeps through this regional, though.
Yeah,
they're so good.
I have Kentucky winning, but I think basically I have Illinois as my runner-up. But I think Illinois, if Illinois gets past Indiana State 1-0 and they get to that Kentucky game, I think, hey, don't watch out for Illinois.
I still believe in the sicko summer, but this has so much more to do with Kentucky than anybody else. Like,
right.
You didn't see them last week. Like, they're so fundamentally like clean in every area of the game. Obviously, we're biased because the boys treated us well, but like they play such a really awesome product of baseball. Like, I feel bad Indiana State, a top 10 RPI team, and having to go play the number 2 overall seed in this thing. Because to me, like Kentucky and Tennessee, like these are going to be my most chalk pick. I think Indiana State is the runner-up, but Kentucky with what they do and how they handle the bat with Waldschmidt at the top of the lineup, like this is going to be a one-horse race. And I think they make it look easy.
Right. And Western Michigan, good season out of the MAC. They didn't win the regular season. Bowling Green did. And it's a program from like what I've heard on like, around the game of college baseball is like really investing into the sport, which is awesome. This is step 1, make a regional, build off that the next couple of years. Look, I think Illinois probably gives Indiana State a run for their money game 1, but I don't think Illinois could win 2 or 3 games in this regional. Indiana State's really deep as well on the mound. And even if Indiana State loses that first game, I think they'll come through the losers bracket and play Kentucky again. That's just kind of what I'm thinking right now. Spoiler alert, I might pick Kentucky to win the national championship this year, and I might throw a little future on it. I love what they're building, and the team camaraderie that me and Jack saw in person was unmatched. Coaching staff's really invested as well. I think Kentucky might be a big play for me. But anyways, what do we think here? Runner up, does it matter? I'll go Indiana State.
I win Illinois.
You win Illinois? Okay. So let's go Greenville Regional here. It matches up with that Tennessee Super. East Carolina is the 1. Evansville is the 4. VCU is the 3. Wake Forest is the 2. Guys, I got a hot take. All right, I'm going to take it up a couple notches now. I've been kind of monotone this first part, but it's just because I woke up, dropped my kid off at daycare, got a little McDonald's coffee, but I'm feeling good now. This feels exactly like what's going to happen. Hot take, but this feels like exactly that Auburn Regional last year, right? Auburn last year, committee member, they get that last hosting spot. They were playing pretty bad down the stretch last year, similar to East Carolina. And it would not surprise me one bit if East Carolina and Wake Forest both have look ahead game syndrome. I don't think Wake Forest is starting Chase Burns Friday against VCU. I don't think Trey Savage is starting Friday for East Carolina. Evansville can really swing it, and so can VCU. Like this is a very underrated 3-4 matchup. And remember last year in that Auburn Regional, Auburn loses to Penn, Southern Miss loses to Samford, and you had a 1 versus 2 in that double elimination, the elimination game that next morning. I think it's a very similar situation. Obviously, everybody and their mom is picking Wake Forest or East Carolina to win this regional. I think it's going to get interesting, though. And honestly, like East Carolina or Wake Forest probably will win the regional.
I think it's the exact same thing as that Auburn Regional, but I think it's going to be Wake Forest. I don't think Wake Forest loses Friday night, but if they do, they're going to come back and win the regional through the losers bracket the same way Southern Miss did.
Right, so, and that's almost exactly what I was saying. Is like
I'm going to get ahead here. I have Wake Forest winning and VCU coming in second.
Yeah, I think this is like so clearly like the committee was not messing around. Like they want the story writes itself. Chase Burns against Tennessee in Knoxville for super like it's too easy to tell. But I'm with Ben, man. VCU's a really good baseball team. Like they made a run in the A10 tournament. Like to me, if they had a better regular season, they're like a Wilmington and may slide into being a 2 seed. Like they're that talented of a ball club. Like they're going to give Wake Forest fits. Like I'm curious to see if they throw Hartle on Friday. Like, or do they save him and they go Johnny Holsaph and it's David Falco, the Maryland guy that throws on Friday night. If that's the case, VCU can really swing it. So, man, Wake's going to have to play their tails off because I know everyone's going to have their eyes on that Savage and Burns matchup, depending on if Savage is healthy or not. But yeah, I'm playing into the storyline. I'll go Wake and ECU as well. But I do agree with you, Ben. Like the Purple Aces with maybe the coolest nickname in sports. Like I wouldn't sleep on them either. It's gonna be tough to win a game in the jungle. But
look, if I'm Wake Forest, you have to start Chase Burns game 1. And I forgot to bring up this point, but VCU has a legitimate ace in Christian Gordon, who's 7-2 this year, 4 ERA. But 72 innings pitched, only 5 home runs allowed, only 13 extra base hits in 72 innings. He struck out 89. And then they have one of the best relievers in the nation who's thrown 75 innings, all in relief, Brian Curley, 78 strikeouts, only 4 home runs, and he has a 2.51 ERA. So if VCU, like that staff does not give up a lot of home runs. And at times Wake Forest relies upon the home run. VCU, if you can get a good money line on them, I think that's worth the upset pick because they're going to go either 6-3 or 7-2 between Curley and Gordon. Like they're a threat to win game 1. ECU, on the other hand, has to face an Evansville team that, I mean, holy crap, dude, they were unbelievable in that Missouri Valley Conference tournament. I know it was at home, but
they handled a good Indiana State team twice.
Yeah. Like they're playing their best baseball right now. And that's a team we had preseason ranked mid-major, like 14 or 15, I want to say. We were a big believer in this Evansville team that was disappointing early in the year, but now they're hot. I think this is going to be the regional of chaos. A lot of look-ahead games. Just watch out. But I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to pick Wake Forest, similar to what Dimitri said. I think they'll end up winning the regional. But I think I'm going to take East Carolina as the runner-up. I'm trying to win this dang bracket pool. I just wanted to give a different perspective on this that maybe people aren't really looking at because everybody I've seen has picked Wake Forest or East Carolina to win this. I'll follow suit. It's going to get interesting though. All right. Corvallis Regional. This
pick Wake as well, right?
Yeah, I want the storyline. I want Burns in Knoxville.
Yep.
You know what? I'm going to switch. I think I'm going to take East Carolina. I just remembered that I have my Omaha 8.
They're playing terrible, man. You know the trend
know.
line. They got swept by Tulane. Then they didn't win their conference tournament. Like they didn't even It's not like they made the championship game and lost. They didn't even make the championship game. Got swept. This is not a great East Carolina team, in my opinion.
Wait, I need to think more macro as well. If I'm gonna go there and I want to be accepted by the jungle fully, I know that most East Carolina fans probably aren't listening, but they sure as hell are gonna see the graphic. Do I take East Carolina just to become friends with the jungle?
No, because the jungle's listening to this. You've already said what you needed to say.
You can't fake your way through this one.
No, I didn't.
I'm taking East Carolina.
Jack is so rattled by Coastal fans right now that he doesn't even know what to do. Stick with your gun. Do not be a sellout.
I forgot last night. So last night I picked my Omaha 8, and I do have East Carolina in Omaha. And
oh my God, what are you guys doing right now?
Look, no. I'm looking at the list right here. I can't believe I had reasons last night that I do not remember. It was 2 a.m. But there was it had to do with a historical performance between a team that was a mid-major that hosted that shouldn't have hosted. I'm sticking with East Carolina.
You guys, there's that phrase you guys keep saying flops on the ground. We're doing flip-flopping on camera right now. I don't like it.
Yeah. Look, not our best showing on podcast, but whatever. My pick is East Carolina officially.
Sellout.
Okay. I just remember the reason. The reasoning was I think VCU beats Wake Forest game 1.
Yeah.
And I think East Carolina will win the regional because of that.
Justify it all you want. You're still both sellouts.
All right.
I haven't done it yet, unless you're going to give it to me.
I mean, you make the choice. You're a grown-ass man.
I'm not going to lie. I will say this. Every time I'm in attendance for a Wake game this year, it has not gone well for the Demon Deacons.
We'll make your choice right now. 3, 2, 1.
Pirates, mid-major guy. Give me ECU. But then I'm just kidding.
All right. Corvallis Regional matches up with the Kentucky Super. Oregon State, heavy favorites here. Oregon State, or actually not that heavy, minus 155. That line has changed quite a bit since yesterday. They were like minus 190. So I guess there's getting some value on UC Irvine plus 225. Nicholls State is actually the longest shot here. 20-1 is the 3 seed. And Tulane plus 625. I think a lot of money is coming in on Tulane right now. They're kind of the trendy 4 seed. They win the American tournament. They went to the tournament last year. What they're building over there is incredible. Kind of back to like those early 2000s Tulane teams that were really, really good. Glad to see that when they're good at baseball, the sport is good. I said it 2 days ago. Oregon State's home field advantage is incredible, especially in regional time. And they always get sent these teams from the Southeast that aren't really used to that atmosphere. It's a different atmosphere than the SEC. I think these fans might be a little crazier, to be honest. But anyways, I have Oregon State winning this regional. It's going to be really tough. The reason why I have Oregon State is because I think Nicholls State could give UC Irvine, one of my darlings. I love UC Irvine. I think Nicholls State wins on Friday, and I'll tell you why. They have freaking Nolan Ryan pitching for them. For anybody that's not familiar, I'm about to pull up his stats here. Their Friday night guy has thrown like 70-something innings this year, has like 110 strikeouts and 70 walks. When he's on, he's on. And like that's something you don't see out there on the West Coast, like an upper 90s fastball, no command. Everybody on the West Coast feels like they have tremendous command and throw 91, 92. But let's see. I'm finding his stats right now. Here we go. Jacob Myers, 4.28 ERA, 69 and a third innings pitched, 105 strikeouts, 74 walks, 0.16 batting average against. If he can just throw strikes, I mean, he's 6'5". I mean, if he can just throw strikes, I think he gets past UC Irvine. And Nicholls State doesn't have a ton much after him. So I think Oregon State will end up winning this regional because of that. But if UC Irvine can win game 1, they do have depth to compete with Oregon State easily. Anybody have thoughts?
I think
come on, boys.
Yeah, flippity floppity. I'll go first, Dimitri. You're the West Coast guy here. Here's what I think. I think one of two things. I think UC Irvine pitch into a 4.3 ERA all year with a guy like Nick Pinto who's going to start his 11th. Like, they've been so consistent. I'm taking UC Irvine for one of two reasons. One, because I actually do think they win it. And most importantly, I want Los Beeves to make a really funny gif of me getting smashed through a car or some WWE action. The guy's meme game does not miss. So I'm giving him some more fuel to the fire. Give me Irvine. I like Irvine a lot here.
I'm taking Irvine as well. I've been riding with UC Irvine since January. They were my Big West pick. They struggled. A couple series gave Santa Barbara the regular season title. But I'm telling you guys, this Irvine team is just as good, if not better, than the team last year. They got hosed. They're hungry. They're hungry. They're here to prove that they should be in this tournament every year. Give me Irvine, then Oregon State runner-up. But I do like Tulane. Hey, I think Tulane gives Oregon State a big problem Friday night. It's going to be one of the shockers.
I'm just such a believer in Aiden May as far as like pitchability for Oregon State. He's a guy that has been battle tested all year. He was injured for a little bit, but when he's healthy, he is.
But listen, Oregon State shows up for the big game. They struggle in the low attention game, if you will. They get up for the big game. Arkansas, Arizona that last weekend, they fucking smoked Arizona that last weekend. But the average game, they struggle. It's just the way it's been. They don't play as good as Oregon State branded baseball against a more inferior opponent.
Right. I think I disagree with that statement, but I can see where you're coming from. All right. So let's move down here. I get to the right tab. All right. 4 more regionals. Norman, Oklahoma. The Sooners are hosting. Oral Roberts is the 4. UConn is the 3. Duke is the 2. This is another just prime look-ahead game, I think, for Duke. They get a UConn team that had limped into the tournament, and they're looking at Oklahoma. Duke feels offended that they should have hosted. Maybe they come out with that chip on their shoulder, but they cannot overlook this UConn team. This is a team that can really pitch the baseball, and like they don't have that 20 home run guy, but they got a bunch of guys that can hit doubles, triples, they steal bags. I've talked myself into UConn possibly winning that Duke game 1 as a look ahead because Duke is looking right at Oklahoma. They think they're better than Oklahoma. Like numbers have kind of proved that Big 12 hosts like haven't really done really well in past. I don't know. I think I'm going to take Oklahoma to win this regional because I might take UConn money line game 1 against Duke. And it's nothing against Duke. They have been a roller coaster all year. They're playing their best baseball right now. I think this is just maybe the college baseball instinct I have. But anytime you think it's going to be a 1 versus 2, it never works out that way. And I don't think Oral Roberts can beat Oklahoma. That's
how are you fading the ACC champion? You've seen how the ACC champion does.
Well, I mean, either way, I think Oklahoma is one of the most underrated teams in the country. What they did this year, other than that Lamar series, like they would have been easily a top 8 national seed if they would have just swept Lamar or won 2 out of 3. They get swept. But it's a tough draw for Duke. Like Duke's pissed that they're at Oklahoma. Oklahoma's pissed that Duke is there. Feels like those are 2 teams that should have hosted. I'm taking Oklahoma to win it, and just gut instinct, I think UConn could win that first game. So that's a huge advantage.
All right. Give me Duke winning it, Oklahoma runner-up. I think Duke is the better team here. I think you never fade the ACC tournament champion. That's all I have to say.
I think this is the easiest pick on the board. I really do. With all credit to everyone else who rolled in, Oral Roberts, you can't doubt their magic. Obviously, we saw OU win the Big 12 by 4.5 games. Duke is by far the best team in this regional, and I think they're not a shoe-in for Omaha, but to me, their veteran leadership, Charlie Bielenson, who can throw and go get a 3-inning save. You've got Logan Bravo and Ben Miller. I think maybe the most dangerous corner infield spot in the entire country. Give me Duke, and I do think this is my easiest pick throughout the regional.
All right. Do you guys think a lot of people are going to be picking Duke here?
I think everyone's going to pick Duke here. I think
a lot of people are going to pick Duke.
I think this is like the March Madness deal where everyone goes, oh yeah, like I didn't take the 1 seed. I know my stuff. I'm taking the 2. So I'm ready to be hurt. But to me, Duke is a really good team. I'm still shocked they're not a host, but like, yeah.
Let's see. Oklahoma that's actually surprising. They're only 8-11 at home. It feels like they play a lot better at home. I don't know. Look, it wouldn't surprise me one bit if Duke runs through this regional. I think there's a chance that Duke loses game 1 as a look ahead. That's all I'm saying. I'm trying to go a little unchalky here. But let's move down here. Tallahassee Regional. Oh, actually, before I do that, let me look up the line for this Duke Oklahoma Regional.
Yeah, Duke is a favorite.
I think Duke was the favorite. Yeah, Duke minus 125, Oklahoma plus 145, UConn plus 650, and Oral Roberts plus 4,000. Yeah, Duke is a pretty big favorite there.
Take Oral.
All right. Tallahassee, Florida State is hosting Stetson, UCF, and Alabama. I'll go ahead and just say the lines here real fast while we have them. Florida State minus 139, Alabama plus 200, UCF plus 525, and Stetson plus 1,700. Dimitri, since you're a Florida guy, what do we have here?
Well, first of all, you threw me off because I thought we were going across to Raleigh. But I think Florida State, like we just said with Duke, I think Florida State is the top 10 team in the country. They can hit it with anybody. They can slug their way to Omaha. I don't know how healthy Leiter is, but Arnold is a top 10, top 15 starter in the country. I mean, probably top 10, top 5-ish probably. His numbers are unbelievable. He's a strikeout machine. Alabama, I think Alabama's a good team. I just don't think they're a great team. I'm not too concerned with them. So, I mean, I'm just scared. Stetson played really good in Tallahassee. They always do. They're hot. They're coming off that dramatic, emotional-filled ASUN tournament in the final couple of weeks, with the beef with Austin Peay. So they're riding high. They feel good about themselves. UCF, guys. I think UCF is a good team. First year in the Big 12. They're not used to the juggernaut schedule playing a Power 5 team every single weekend, and they still are a postseason team. They're still I think they made the Big 12 semifinal in the tournament. First year Big 12, first year Power 5, these guys got it done. They got in that large bid. They made the semifinals of their conference tournament. They kept their heads above water. They have what it takes to win this regional. I'm telling you, I think they have a chance. So Florida State to be my winner, UCF runner-up.
Look, I'm right there with you. I think UCF and Stetson are a really tough 3-4 draw. The thing about Stetson, like they don't wow you in any way. I remember looking through their stats last night, and it's like, oh, they don't have, big home run guys. They really don't have big extra base hit guys. Their pitching staff is, it's very, very bullpen heavy. Starters are not great. They try to piece it together. They are comfortable playing at Florida State. UCF is comfortable playing at Florida State. And then Alabama is the team as a 2 seed that I personally thought should have been a 3 seed. But remember, like, Alabama did beat Tennessee and Arkansas. Was it Tennessee and Arkansas or Tennessee and A&M? I know they have 2 big series wins. I want to say it was Arkansas. They won a series there. But anyways, not a great road team. The Crimson Tide, as you can see, they're 8-12 away from home. And, like, they play really, really good in Tuscaloosa, but away, there's been some clunkers. I think Florida State will if I had to trust somebody other than Hagen Smith or Chase Burns throwing for me, it's Jamie Arnold all day, every day. Most underrated pitcher in the country. He's going to get him off to a Game 1 win. And the bullpen's healthy now. They also have 2 first-rounders in their lineup with Tibbs and Cam Smith. This seems like a very, very easy pick to have Florida State win at home.
Drew Farrell. I'm telling you, this lineup is loaded.
Yeah, like Florida State is a national championship caliber team. I'll take Alabama as the 2 seed to be runner-up. Actually, yeah, it really doesn't matter, UCF or Alabama, but it wouldn't surprise me like you said, with UCF, good team. We've seen them play good baseball. We've seen them play bad baseball. if they get hot, like maybe they can give Florida State a run for their money, but I don't see Alabama or Stetson winning this. They just don't have the star power.
Yep.
Ditto. Just repeat, copy and paste. Florida State, UCF. I will say I kind of had this as the easiest regional. I felt like not the kudos to what UCF had done all year, because I really do think they surprised a lot of teams, including myself in the Big 12. But Alabama, to me, as a 2, based off of just kind of the way they played last week, like they kind of folded a little bit in that SEC tournament. I do think Stetson gives Florida State a run for their money. I'm curious if, to your point, do they throw Arnold game 1 and just go make sure that you secure a dub? I'm not sure, but I do want to warn us. We've been pretty chalk so far, boys. 5 in. We've been pretty damn chalk. I'm a little bit worried, but it does. It kind of plays that way.
Yeah, look, we're gonna be chalky this top half of the bracket. I promise everybody, mine does get a little wild. Actually, coming up here pretty soon. It just feels like those first 5 or 6 regionals we just talked about. I think they're gonna be chalky, and that's okay. Like these teams are the better teams in my opinion. But I promise you, towards the bottom part of this bracket, it's gonna get weird for me.
Yeah.
All right. Raleigh Regional, NC State hosting Bryant, James Madison, and South Carolina. Boys, I've talked myself into this Bryant team.
I love it.
I tweeted it out yesterday. Every year I pick a 4 seed that could potentially go on like this magical Cinderella run. I've never been correct, ever. I don't think a 4 seed, this is going back 5 years now. I don't think I've ever picked a 4 seed to even win a game in a regional. But Bryant, they're a team that nobody's talking about. They win the regular season. They win the tournament up there in the America East. They were the best team by far in that conference. You know who came out of that conference in 2012? Stony Brook, the Seawolves, another team that ran through the conference. Very, very old team, that Stony Brook team. And Bryant is one of the older teams in the country as well. Their top 7 pitchers who pitch for them are all like 23, 24 years old. They're all 5th, 6th, 7th year seniors. Or maybe not 7th, but 4th, 5th, and 6th year seniors. And as Dimitri knows, your senior year, none of these guys are probably going to get drafted. You're going to throw until your arm falls off, as Dimitri did as well. I think there's something special about a team that has nothing to lose, not a hostile environment at all. I mean, NC State's field is beautiful. A little bit of an older crowd typically, like not a huge student section as like we experienced, Jack. Maybe it changes for a regional, but
I was going to say it might check you. It might check.
It might change, but look, I have to believe in one of these 4 seeds to win a regional. I think, look, South Carolina, they showed a lot last week in the SEC tournament, but they also still have their question marks, especially when Cole Messina is not going 8 for 11 with 6 homers. Like, can they still be offensive? Look, I'm going to go on a limb here. I'm going to say Bryant wins this Raleigh regional, and that's great news for NC State fans. That's great news for South Carolina fans. But look, Bryant's not bad. Bryant is a good team that nobody's talking about with nothing to lose.
I spoke far too soon. I said chalky, and then Ben had to prove and go ahead and tell me to go kiss it. I love it. I love it. I'm all in.
I mean, like, tell me, like, are these guys going to be intimidated? No. They can go rent a car. They can go down the street. Like, they're old enough to rent a car. Like, these guys are going to be crafty. They have a ton of college innings under their belt. Like, they have, I mean, what a better storyline than just Bryant out of Rhode Island.
I love it.
Winning a regional.
We haven't gotten to my 4 seed yet, but I love it.
Yeah. That would make all the sense in the world, because I do think State and South Carolina is the best 1-2 punch in any regional by far. Like, right. So it would make sense that they are looking ahead, they're beating the hell out of each other, and then all of a sudden Bryant just comes out the woodworks. Man, to me, I think you're right. State's youth, I think, is really, really talented. I think it's actually why they have the ability to make a pretty deep run. I just fell in love with the South Carolina team last week. I really did. Not that I didn't all year, but to me, whether it's Messina or Reeves or Petrie, they showed me a couple different offensive pieces. And then all of a sudden, for the first time, what they did all year, which they hadn't done, is go to the pen and go to guys that haven't thrown all year. They threw a guy, Sam Simpson, who had 2 innings under his belt in the SEC championship and threw really well. to me, all of a sudden unlocking that potential allows you to go play in a deep series with NC State. I'm going chalk here. I like South Carolina, and I think NC State's the runner-up. I will tell you that place, the Doak, was popping against Wake Forest a couple weeks ago. I was lucky enough.
Yeah.
So I do think it's going to be an awesome regional atmosphere. No love lost for our mid majors. JMU and Bryan are a lot of fun, but man, I think this is the best 1-2 punch in the field of 64.
So Jack, you're going with South Carolina.
Go Cox.
One more reason I had for Bryant, like obviously they're probably not going to win this regional, but I had to pick a 4 seed to win one. They only have 3
better choices coming up.
Well, another thing that I looked up is they only have 3 quadrant 1 games. Like they play a very weak, like 250th strength of schedule. 3 quadrant 1 games. They lost by 1 at UCF. They lost by 1 at Northeastern, and they lost by like 3 against. It was either Pitt or Boston College. And it's like, hey, a couple things turn here and there. Maybe they're 3-0 in quadrant 1 games. And or maybe it was UConn. Maybe it was UConn, not Pitt or Boston College. It was like one of those teams. So we don't really know what Bryant has, similar to Stony Brook in 2012. Let's take a shot here. And I'll take South Carolina as my runner-up. Great news for NC State fans. Do not come at me on Twitter. Like, this is what you want to see because I've picked NC State every single year.
I have South Carolina winning it, NC State as the runner-up. This is probably going to be the end of my chalky plays because I was just looking at the bracket. It's going to get really interesting.
The bottom half.
The bottom half is going to get interesting.
South Carolina winning.
Do we have any thoughts that James Madison, a team that a lot of people thought shouldn't get in, do they have a little magic up their sleeve?
I just think they just took care of bad teams in the Sun Belt and struggled with the good teams in the Sun Belt. That's just my perception I got from them this year. So I'm not really that confident in them.
I think they've got top draft prospects. I know we talked about Fenwick Trimble last week in Montgomery. Like he's like a big athletic dude that runs really well. Like he's going to be a top 5 rounder. Like they've got a couple really nice pieces on the mount. Like, yeah, they can. I like I said, like not to sound like a broken record. I just think that State is so damn talented with Pennington, Makarevich, and Kozart.
They're good. They're really good.
They have every piece that you want to see. And I want to make this very clear. Not one of us just picked them to get out of this regional, which means they are a bona fide lock to get to Omaha. And I suggest as a group we hypothetically invest in that.
Right. I'm down.
Yeah.
I'm going to pull up the odds there real quick. For that regional was interesting. NC State plus 105, South Carolina plus 105, and James Madison plus 800, Bryant plus 3,500. So both of them are plus money. You technically could bet both NC State and South Carolina to win the regional, and if one of them wins, you profit like 5%.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's weird.
I like it. It's the best 1-2 punch by far, I think, in the 64, no doubt.
Yeah. All right. Athens Regional, Georgia is the 1 seed. Army is the 4 once again. Georgia Tech, 3 seed. UNC Wilmington, 2. Look, we've already seen Georgia smack Georgia Tech this year 3 times. Technically twice there was a rainout that didn't complete, but they were up a ton when that unofficial game happened. Charlie Condon, Wes Johnson, like you just keep going. You just keep going down the list, right? And they play well at home. Do you guys see anybody else as a threat to win this regional? I think this might be the best draw Georgia could have.
I think, hey, there's this thing. Crazy things happen when you least expect it. This is where I could see Georgia Tech winning this regional. And don't ask me why. It's just one of those when you least expect it kind of thing. Everyone's already seen Georgia smack Georgia Tech this year. No one thinks UNC Wilmington can beat Georgia. Hey, what if Georgia Tech wins that game against UNC Wilmington? They find a way to beat Georgia Tech Saturday night. Next thing you know, they're in the driver's seat to win the regional. Like, it's just like one of those things. Like, I can see Georgia Tech being a team where one of these least expected moments. But I'm not going to do it. I don't have the balls to do it yet. I don't have the balls to do it. So I'm going to go with Georgia to win it, but Georgia Tech is the runner-up.
Am I up? Because I'll do it.
Yeah.
I don't give a damn. UNC Wilmington has 2 starting pitchers that can absolutely go beat an SEC and an ACC team, which is what it's going to need to take. RJ Sales and Jacob Schaefer are 2 dudes that are 92, 94 with great off-speed stuff and can really spin it. Now, they're going to have to really, really spin it against Corey Collins and that, I guess, that pretty good Charlie Condon guy at the top of the lineup for Georgia. I'm not worried about Tech for Wilmington because I really do think Wilmington's got the arms to win that game. Like, I really do. Georgia Tech's a really good ball club, and I think they're building something really special. I know we talked about going into this year, would they be able to shore up the arms? Well, they did. They did in a way enough to get into the NCAA tournament. And I think that's awesome. I just don't think it's time yet. UNC Wilmington's going to win this regional. I'm about as positive of this 2 seed as I am with Duke. I really think that Wilmington last year got a really crappy draw with obviously Duke and Coastal, and then they slide in as a really talented 3 team, and they go 2 in a queue. Like, there's some vengeance in that locker room. We're like, hey, like, we know that we're a better team. Like, we're not a mid-major group that can go. Like, I think they're trying to set a precedent. I think by winning a regional like this, they become, I guess, that next team up when you consider the ECUs, the Coastals, the Indiana States of the world. Like, I think they're a mid-major on the rise. They're investing a ton of money into their ballpark. It's going to look brand new next year. I mean, I think they're building something. I really do think they have a chance, and I think they actually get it done. They beat Georgia.
Yeah, you sound just like me from last year. I had UNC Wilmington in a super. Look, I'm going to pick Georgia to win this regional. It would not surprise me if UNC Wilmington puts the CAA on their back, wins the regional. I think they're a good team too. I just think Georgia, what they've done at home this year, I just pulled up the stats. We can pull it back up. They are 29-5.
Writers have already written the script. It's Georgia Tech regional final Sunday night. I don't know how you get missing it. The script has already been written.
29-5 for Georgia this year at home. Ridiculous. Like, every game I turn on there, they're putting up 10 runs. It's nuts. The pitching staff's a lot better, and it has gotten better throughout the year. I think Georgia wins this regional. UNC Wilmington might beat them once, and like you'll have a winner take all game Monday, but I don't think Georgia's losing twice at home, fellas. Wouldn't it be funny if Army just goes ahead and upsets Georgia game 1?
It'd be awesome.
Like, imagine the chaos. Like, what is Army?
It might happen.
Army's 11-8 on the road. Only played, let's see, 7 quad 1 games, and they're 3-4. I don't know. I mean, they're not going to be intimidated. I'll put it that way. It would be really funny if Army just goes ahead and ruins everybody's bracket winning that regional. Fayetteville Regional, Arkansas 1 seed, SEMO 4 seed, Kansas State 3 seed, Louisiana Tech 2 seed. I'm excited about this regional, guys. I think there's a good mix of star power, and between Arkansas and Kansas State has big time star power too. And then you have 2 teams, SEMO and Louisiana Tech, who traditionally just gritty teams led by gritty coaches. They love to get down in the mud. Like, they never feel like they should be underdogs. And I think that's a good mix here with the star power that Arkansas and Kansas State possess. So, Dimitri, lead us off since you're wearing the SEMO hat.
I really want to take SEMO to win this regional, and here's why. Here's 2 counters. There's a pro and a con, like a supporting statement and an argument. I just have a really hard time convincing myself that SEMO is going to beat Hagen Smith on Friday night. But I could totally see us watching regional Friday. SEMO somehow puts up 2 runs up in the first against Hagen Smith. Everyone's like, holy shit, SEMO takes the lead early. They hold on. They somehow hold on to win this game. They wear Hagen Smith out. They somehow beat him like 3-2 or something. Just something crazy. And then they get Kansas State Saturday. SEMO beats them. They're in the driver's seat to win the regional. Like, I just can see it, but I can't convince myself that they're going to beat Hagen Smith on Friday. Like, I just can't see that guy losing. Same thing with last year. Paul Skeens was automatic in that game 1 game. He just absolutely obliterated. I think it was Southeastern Louisiana, maybe.
It was Tulane, wasn't it?
Yep. It was Tulane.
Yeah, I had the argument last year with LSU really only having that 1 starter. It's like, dude, if you can't beat Tulane with your number 2 starter, like, you're not winning the whole thing. Proved me so wrong. They ended up starting Paul Skeens. He shoved, and they ended up winning the whole thing.
So This regional's hard for me. I think Arkansas has a really soft, easy draw here. This might be the easiest region, easiest draw of anyone.
Ooh,
I don't
not
think
so
Louisiana Tech. I
fast,
don't think
my friend.
Louisiana Tech is great. I don't think Kansas State is great. I really don't want to be chalky and take Arkansas, but they have revenge. They're going to win this. They're not losing back-to-back home regionals after losing to TCU last year. Give me Arkansas.
Yeah. One thing that we always preach on this show, when it comes to the postseason, you got to hit, right? And you have to be able to score runs, especially in today's environment. Arkansas is going to win game 1 against SEMO. These SEMO guys have not seen anything close to what Hagen Smith possesses. It gets interesting, though. It gets really interesting in that second game, Louisiana Tech against Kansas State. I think Lane Burroughs is a top 15 coach in the country from top to bottom. This is a team that hosted a regional 2021, and I almost got out of that regional. They ran into that red-hot NC State team. I think Louisiana Tech is able to piece together enough on the pitching side, which they do have talent. Like, they throw strikes. They got guys from all different arm angles. I'm not going to pick them to win this regional, but whoever I love Kansas State as well. I think Kansas State is underrated. They got into the tournament. They got nothing to lose. They got shafted last year, chip on their shoulder. Whoever wins that Kansas State Louisiana Tech game could win this regional, because we've seen Arkansas's bats go flat multiple times this year. And if you can't score, you can't win. I'm going to take Arkansas to win it, but let's go Louisiana Tech as a surprise team.
Kansas State runner-up.
Even if Louisiana Tech loses that first game, they have enough to get through the losers bracket.
Dude, I'll say
I'm tempted right now to switch to Louisiana Tech.
I want to take them so bad. Someone tell me why I shouldn't. I want to do it so bad. You started off with you have to hit in the postseason to win. Arkansas really hadn't hit all year, man. Like they just haven't. Now, I don't see anybody beating one of their weekend guys, but I'm like, the offense has scared me at times. I think it might be one of the most complete rotations, top to bottom, back end. Their depth has depth. But, dude, Ethan Bates is a dog. Can't you see Ethan Bates going and winning this damn thing on his own? 35 appearance out of the pen, a 3.5 ERA. He's hitting 340 with 15 jimmies. Ethan Bates is really good. Luke Nichols, who's their Friday night guy, he's got like 80-something punches to only like 17 or 20 walks, I think. He's got an ERA under 3.5. I want to take La Tech so bad. To me, this is a two-team race. I don't know, especially in that ballpark, if you can go and do it. But I do know that at the end of this weekend, everyone's going to know Ethan Bates' name. Like, yeah. I know I rode my Lyle Miller Green two-way stud sensation all year. Man, Ethan Bates has been just equally as impressive for a team that like really went and dominated that league. So, Ben, tell me to do it. Tell me to do it. Tell me to take La Tech.
I think you can take La Tech to win it. They remind me a lot of the Nebraska team from 2021 that gave Arkansas trouble, because Nebraska had the two-way guy. I'm blanking on his name right now. Schellenbach, something like that. And he showed out. Yeah, he showed out in the regional. And it just takes like one star player that like gets your whole team going. It was similar to like I'm trying to think of an example right now of a star player, mid-major team, and like when he gets going, the whole team follows. Like, he's that type of guy. But look, I think Arkansas's pitching is way too deep. They're heavy favorites, like minus 350 to win this regional. I'll give me the Hogs at home. It's going to be an electric. I think this is a team, like, this is a tournament, a regional where things are going to get sloppy. Like, these teams are going to be bunting. They're going to be hit and running. It's going to get a little interesting.
Give me La Tech. I want to do it. La Tech, please.
La Tech had been written down.
Yeah.
All right. Charlottesville Regional. Virginia hosting Penn, not Pitt. Penn, St. John's, Mississippi State. Look, guys, I can't unsee an Arkansas versus Mississippi State super regional. Two of the biggest ballparks in the country. Virginia at home is a different animal, and they have the best offense in the ACC by far, like significantly. I was looking at the ACC stats. They put up the most runs. They have highest batting average, highest OBP, OPS. Like, this is a team that went severely under the radar offensively this year, and they play really well at home. But the 1-2 punch, I said it on yesterday's show, of Cale Stevens and Jarangelo Sanger is my favorite 1-2 punch in the country. And I think they get out of this regional some way or another. I think they win all 3 games and go through it. But even if they have to go to the elimination game, like, they showed me a lot in Hoover. And I cannot unsee an Arkansas Mississippi State super regional. Like, it's sharpied into my brain.
The Red Storm have something to say about this. Give me St. John winning this regional, and here's why.
Winning it?
They're going to win it.
Oh, I'm listening.
They've got what it takes. They can pitch. They have clutch hitting. They know how to score with 2 outs and manufacture with 2 outs. They're going to beat Mississippi State Friday night. Virginia is going to struggle with Penn. They're going to come out on top. They're going to struggle, but they're going to come out on top. St. John's is going to shock the world again. St. John is going to beat Virginia and be in the regional final in Charlottesville. You will see St. John going to Fayetteville, Arkansas next weekend.
All right.
I think you're crazy, dude. I think the absolute opposite's going to happen. I think Virginia run rules Penn. I think Mississippi State takes care of St. John's. And then I think it's just a battle between Virginia and Mississippi State.
I do.
Good for you.
These 2 teams, a lot like NC State and South Carolina, like they were a really close second, and they're both so different in how they win ball games, man. To Ben's point, seeing Jarangelo in person, like 98 to 99, like from both sides. Like, I know he's not really doing it right now, but it is insane to know that he's still got in the back pocket. He's a huge physical specimen that, like, is going to be an absolute stud at the next level. But we've said it all year, man. This is a
fucking Johnny's, baby. Go Johnny.
This is a walking super regional team, Virginia. We've said it for years, right? And I'm seeing La Tech up in Charlottesville, and then obviously Virginia ends up back in Omaha like they always do somehow. But 2 things can be true, right? Mississippi State, in my opinion, deserved to host a regional after last week. And then they get a really tough draw having to go play it in Charlottesville. So in my opinion, 2 things can be true. Mississippi State should have hosted, and Virginia's a walking super regional team. Push comes to shove, I'll take the home guys. Like, to Ben's point, man, they really hit. And they're they just got a lot of fun pieces. I'm a little bit worried about the bullpen. They need Jay Woolfolk, their Team USA guy from last year, former QB1, to be better. And I think he will. I really do. I mean, he's got crazy stuff. So, man, give me UVA at home. Just the track record is enough.
You just said a whole lot of nothing.
That, like stats.
You just said a whole lot of nothing.
He said way more than you did. Wait, time out. He said way more than you did. You just said St. John.
You said a whole lot of nothing. St. John, super regional.
I like it. Hey, man, dude, I'm a little bit disappointed you didn't do it with SEMO. If you're going to ride with your guys, ride with your guys.
Yeah, ride with your guys, man.
Hagen Smith is the only reason why I can't do it with SEMO.
Yeah, like, Hagen Smith is just a different creature. He's not losing this whole postseason. That's a fact. All right, let's move over here to the Clemson Regional. Another hot take here, boys. High Point's going to beat Clemson on Friday.
No doubt.
High Point. I have done my research on High Point. Gus Hughes is, I think, getting the ball. We haven't talked to Coach yet, but Gus Hughes 3.86 ERA in that conference is impressive. 95 innings pitched. He's almost at 100 innings pitched this year. Over 100 strikeouts. He doesn't walk a whole bunch. His issue is home runs, right? Like, he's given up 22 homers in 95 innings. That is a lot. But when the games where he does not give up home runs, he's been incredible. Like, I'm talking, like, I'll go through his line here, but talking 7-8 innings pitched, 1 run, 0 runs, almost double-digit strikeouts a few different times or whatever. Gus Hughes, I think, can hold this Clemson offense to 3, 4, 5 runs in 6 innings. And this High Point offense, now that Peyton Carr is back, who has hit 13 homers in 24 games, 13 homers and 90 at-bats, plus 7 doubles. So 20 extra base hits and 90 at-bats.
Jeez.
Since they've got him back in the lineup, I mean, there's something like 18 and 4 or whatever. It's incredible what they've done. Cale Chatham, who we talked to when we went on our visit to High Point back in March, one of the more impressive two-way guys in the country, 17 homers, also a closer for him. I think High Point can piece together that Friday game and upset Clemson, which opens the door for both Coastal and Vanderbilt, in my opinion. Now, look, Clemson could go out and win through the losers bracket in my scenario, but look, give me Coastal Carolina to win this regional. Absolutely. I mean, it's a super talented team. They had an awful stretch in May, like 8 straight losses at one point. They're not playing good baseball, but what they have now is new life. And anytime you give a team that talented new life and room to breathe again, they could go out there and hit 20 homers this weekend. I'm telling you, like they could hit 6 a game. It's a very talented offense. And I'll take Clemson as the runner-up. But give me Coastal Carolina to win this regional.
I love that pick. I love that pick.
High Point will not win this regional. They do not have the depth, but I think they win game 1 as a 4-1 upset.
I think people are forgetting how good Coastal Carolina is. I think they're a really good team. They played awful baseball. Let's see if they can get hot here. I have Vanderbilt winning this regional, but I think Coastal finishes the runner-up.
I think this is the toughest regional on the board because of how much we believe in High Point. Like when High Point beats them on Friday, Ben, I knew heads were going to be in the same place. Like over 19.5 homers for this regional. I know we joked about it on Monday, but like to me, like this is so real. All of these offenses are super physical. To me, when High Point sets the tone, you mentioned Peyton Carter, he's slugging over 900. Guys, like he's only struck out 8 times to 19 walks in his 24 games too. Like he's doing superhuman shit right now.
Yeah.
So like they in real life, they've got a shortstop in Adam Stewart, who's like the face of their program. He's already up on their scoreboard. And the conversation of Eric Bakich earlier this week, where it's like, yeah, like for anybody who's worried about us not having gotten to a super since 2012, like, yeah, we call them Gamecocks. No, we call those fans that want to go to a super that have like invested a ton of money in this program. And like, I'm a little bit worried. With that being said, I really think Clemson could go 2 in a queue here. I really do. And I don't mean that as like they don't have any talent. Like they've been one of the best programs all year. But to me, this feels like Coastal's regional. I know Dimitri brought it up earlier. I got Coastal Carolina fans breathing down my neck. Here's the deal. Fans should be mad at me, but they should be in Gainesville, in Manhattan, Kansas. Like my conversation was never about Coastal. The conversation was unfortunately about these Power 5 teams that I just like am a little hesitant towards. Vanderbilt is not one of them. So when you're telling me that if High Point beats Clemson and Vandy loses to Coastal, then Vandy, I think, comes all the way from the losers bracket and gives Coastal a run for their money. But, Ben, we saw this dude throw in Montgomery. I think Henry Weicker is the difference for Coastal. He's a lefty, a southpaw that started out at a Power 5. He can spin it, and I can see him throwing twice in this regional. I'll take Coastal too. I really do. This isn't like a, hey, I'm standing on business. I think people are coming after me. I really did think Derek Bender's hitting the ball the other way with power. I don't think Vanderbilt's going to throw Cunningham against Coastal, which I think will be a mistake. And then when they hold him, they'll have to throw him against Clemson. I think that kind of lightens the load a little bit for Vandy, as we saw Leighton Hoover, like they just ran out of arms. So I'll take Coastal, man. I feel good about the shots.
I do too. I think it's a popular pick. Yeah. Right now, Clemson minus 121 to win the regional, Vanderbilt plus 150, Coastal plus 500, and then High Point 40-1 plus 4,000. I think that's another one that's going to be maybe potentially 2 upsets that Friday. 3 beaten 2 and 4 beaten 1. But anyway, Stillwater Regional, one of my favorite regionals. I love Oklahoma State's ballpark. It is built to host regionals. The ball absolutely flies there, guys. Like, it's dangerous to sit in the outfield. Feels like exit velocities are up 10 miles an hour there in Stillwater. Ironically enough, like the Stillwater Regional, you got Niagara there. Like Niagara Falls is anything but Stillwater, right? Time
out. That was funny. That was really funny.
Yeah. The Niagara, great season, 24-4 in the MAC. They lost that series that we had in the weekend series pick 'em against Fairfield. That's okay. Look, their away numbers are crazy. Like away from home, they're 26-12, and like this is a team that, you know, I think it's a new-ish coaching staff, maybe year 2 or 3 for them, but they've really turned this program around. And like, I'm not saying they're going to beat Oklahoma State. I think Oklahoma State wins game 1 easily, but I'll be rooting for Niagara. Like I like to see these Northeastern teams do well in regionals, just because it spreads the word of college baseball.
Yes, St. John. Come on, man. The Johnnies are right there in front of you.
St. John's is just rich private school that they could be good at baseball. If they, you know what I mean? Like if they really wanted to, they could take the Vanderbilt approach and like be really good at baseball, but they just prefer basketball. Like it's a basketball school. Niagara is not a basketball school. They could be a baseball school. But look, I think the winner of this game right here, the Florida-Nebraska game, is going to end up winning this regional. And for me personally, it's going to be Nebraska. And it's because of Brett Sears, who's 9-0 this year with a 2 ERA, 100 innings pitched, 100 strikeouts. Like, this guy's the real deal. He will hold this Florida lineup to less than 3 runs. And, like, anytime you can get that game 1 win with a starter going deep, you have everybody available game 2 against Oklahoma State. I think Nebraska is playing their best baseball right now as they just won the Big Ten tournament. I think they're going to host a super regional at Haymarket Park, which will be absolutely electric against Coastal Carolina. This is another one. When I shut my eyes, I can see a Nebraska Coastal Carolina super regional. I can just see it right now.
Hey, first thing first, respect the vision. I love it. I really love. I hope I have a little soft spot for Nebraska. I played 2.5 years there in Haymarket Park. In a little independent ball action. I love Haymarket. I love Lincoln, Nebraska. One of my more fond memories, favorite places that I played baseball at. Super fun. Nebraska fan love Husker baseball. They love it, and the field is beautiful. Great environment. It's just an awesome place. But with all that being said, Ben, why do you keep hating on Oklahoma State? I don't understand it. This team is so good.
I know they're so good. This is almost an inside joke at this point. We have a ton of Oklahoma State listeners to the pod and like fans of 11.7. And I think there's a behind closed doors agreement that they do not want me to pick Oklahoma State because of that bad taste I had in my mouth back in February and March. It's similar to Clemson too, right? Like I don't think I've won a Clemson investment hypothetically all year. So Oklahoma State and Clemson fans have got to love that I'm just off their train. They're probably going to end up matching up in a super regional. But what I, Ben Upton, personally want is a Nebraska Coastal Carolina super regional, and I will pick that until the day I die.
All right. Now I need to make a home field ad read right here. Wearing home field apparel will not make your significant others have Stillwater. They will make them have Niagara Falls. So buy your home field apparel. With all that being said, Oklahoma State wins this regional, and here's why Florida finishes as the runner-up. Liam Peterson's going to lose game 1 to Nebraska. They're going to throw somebody against Niagara. They're going to beat them. Oklahoma State's going to beat Nebraska in the 1-0 game Saturday night. Jack Caglianone is going to face Nebraska Sunday morning. He's going to absolutely annihilate them. Florida goes to the regional final Sunday night, and then Oklahoma State knocks them out.
Yeah, that feels pretty spot on. I'll go chalk with you. I think Nolan Schubart is having the quietest, like 350, 20 homers. Like it'd be like a first-team All-American season if everybody wasn't hitting homers. So, Miss Schubart and the Cowboys, I'll take Oak State as well.
Yeah, dude, that team is so talented, man.
They're so good.
They're so good. Why are you not pick? This is probably the best.
This is the easiest regional.
They're so good.
Yeah, even though I do love Niagara.
Do you guys think Florida's dead, or do you think Florida can make a run?
Here's the deal. I've already stood on business for too long. I can't pick them. I'd be absolutely out of my mind if I picked them. Now, I could see them getting Omaha, but I can't pick them. I can't do it. They were a game over 500. They can't win series.
I mean, this is Ole Miss. This literally is Ole Miss, like to a dotted T or a dotted I cross T.
Yep.
But
they did, and they gave us.
Do you not agree with my scenario?
No, look, I can easily see that happening too. Don't get me wrong.
Beats Florida Friday. Florida beats Niagara Saturday in the elimination game. Cags throw Sunday against Nebraska after they lose to Oklahoma State. They beat Nebraska, and then they run out of gas and lose to Oklahoma State.
Yeah, look, that's a great.
But
that is.
You know what? Stick with your Nebraska Coastal Carolina Super.
Yeah.
I like.
No,
it.
I am. No, 100%. I am. I can see it now. Like, if anybody else can see this vision, pick that.
Yeah,
because
you went with Oklahoma State, right?
Yeah, Oak State.
All right, we got 4 more regionals here. Tucson, Arizona hosting after winning the Pac-12 regular season and the conference tournament. Very, very tough 4 seed here. Grand Canyon, who miraculously gets the automatic bid by Tarleton State, winning the WAC tournament. Then you get a West Virginia team that is sneaky, probably the best 3 seed in the tournament. Should have been a 2 seed. I think them and Alabama probably should have flipped. And then Dallas Baptist is the 2 seed who, listen, boys, we talked about it preseason. Like, this is an Omaha caliber team, a national championship worthy team, and especially with Ryan Johnson going Friday night. One of the most electric pitchers at the mid-major level, probably maybe even the best pitcher at the mid-major level. I said it before the season. Dallas Baptist, ton of value to win Omaha, win the College World Series. They fit that hot, cold, hot theory to a T. They just ran through the CUSA tournament. I love Dallas Baptist to win this regional. And I like West Virginia a lot as well. I think this is a team that will battle it out with Dallas Baptist 2 or 3 times in this regional. I think they're going to let J.J. Weatherholt off the leash. They've been kind of holding him back since that hamstring injury. He's only stolen like 5 bases. He's going to start legging out singles into doubles. He's going to start stealing bases. He's going to put pressure on the other teams. And he's another one of those guys that, like, when he's going, he makes that team so much better. I think we get 3 rounds of Dallas Baptist versus West Virginia here. And I think Grand Canyon is a prime candidate to beat Arizona as a 4 versus 1. This is a ballpark Grand Canyon plays a ton of midweeks at. They've beaten Arizona a ton over the last 5 years. They have Power 5 players playing at Grand Canyon. Awesome facility. I think we could see a Grand Canyon beating Arizona game 1. I think Dallas Baptist beats West Virginia game 1, and then West Virginia beats Arizona, beats Grand Canyon, and then battles it out with Dallas Baptist. That's how I vision this regional going.
Oh, I'm so torn. There's so many scenarios I like in this regional. Excuse me. That sneeze might have just confirmed which one I like the best, but we'll get there. I think Arizona is good. I think they just had a really good season. I'm just not 100% sold on them as being a dominant team. Like, I'm not scared of them. I don't know why. Grand Canyon is by far the most talented 4 seed in this tournament. Actually, Tulane and Grand Canyon are probably like neck and neck. They're both really good.
Mm-hmm.
West Virginia, I think, was a potential they were a Big 12 favorite at the beginning of the year to win the Big 12. Yeah. They had a disappointing year. They lost their star player half the year. This is a really good team. Dallas Baptist, everybody knows about Dallas Baptist. I mean, people have been calling them an Omaha team all year until the last final month of the season where they lost 3 straight series. I don't know where I want to go with this. If Grand Canyon beats Arizona game 1, I love Dallas Baptist. But if Arizona wins game 1, I have a hard time seeing West Virginia or Dallas Baptist knocking them out. But I'm going to do this. I'm going to go with West Virginia winning the regional. And, oh, my God.
Yeah. It's a hard one, man. I think there's a lot of different storylines.
You know what? Ryan Johnson's not losing to West Virginia. I don't care what anybody said. Ryan Johnson's winning that game against West Virginia. So you know what? I will go with Arizona Dallas Baptist Saturday or Dallas Baptist Grand Canyon.
Are you going to make a pick? Come on.
Jack, do it. Make a pick and come back to me.
All right,
just trying to.
All right, Mr. Flippity Floppy. I think this is, and obviously so with Arizona sneaking in as a host late, like this is next to the Clemson regional, I think the most stacked. I think there's star power throughout. I'm in love with your boy from Grand Canyon. After we saw him during the regional watch party, Ben, like, how could you not? I could see them easily beating Arizona, right, on Friday night. But here's my problem. I'm running out of time to do it. I really think a Pac-12 team is going to make a run at Omaha this year. I really do. And I don't think it's going to be the team we all think it is, right? Like, I think Oregon State, I already picked them to get upset in Corvallis, so I can't go back on that. So I need a team. With that being said, we've been in love with the West Virginia story. It's Randy Mazey's last year. And there's all this conversation building and budding, right? Which makes all the sense in the world for the quietest a DBU team has ever limped into a regional, I think, before to go and win it. So I'll take DBU as the winner and Arizona runner-up, because I do agree with Dimitri. I think the front-end pitching will beat West Virginia early, and I think it's going to be really tough for them to bounce back from it. And I think Arizona and DBU have the most depth in the regional, even though I do think Grant Gainon's got a great shot. So, man, this one's going to be a lot of fun late at night, 1 o'clock in the morning. Feed it to me all night long. But I like DBU here.
God, we can't go DBU across the board here.
Sure we can. It just means they get 2 and queued.
Yeah.
This is
I'm pretty sure
the hardest one. What?
I'm pretty sure Ryan Johnson got lit up last year in the regionals against Washington.
He's a year older. He's a year better. He's ready to go for this moment. No pressure, to be honest with you. He's already failed immensely. He can't get any worse. So if that's my mindset. If I'm Ryan Johnson, I don't care. I'm just gonna go out there and do my thing. I've already fucked up royally. One. I can only do better than that. I can only go up from here. So, I want to give Arizona the respect they deserve. Regular season and conference champion in the Pac-12 is hard to do. Fuck, man. Why is this so hard?
Dude, make a pick.
You know what?
It's not hard.
You know what? Give me West Virginia to win it. Dallas Baptist 2 seed, West Virginia, North Carolina Super.
I like it.
All right. Chapel Hill Regional. Jack's got to leave here in 15 minutes. So let's get through these regionals, and I'll let him make his Omaha picks right after that. He'll go through. Chapel Hill, North Carolina, 1 seed. Long Island Sharks, 4 seed. Jack's favorite team. Wofford is the 3, and LSU is the 2. Like I've been trying to talk myself into this Wofford team potentially upsetting LSU game 1. I think Wofford's offense is incredible. We've talked about it a few times, like throughout this 5-year stretch or 6-year stretch of 11.7. But like Wofford, they just play like the triple option style of college baseball. Fast, bunch of moving parts, and really good recruits. Like they recruit right there in South Carolina, so they get Georgia and North Carolina to come over. But look, I think North Carolina and LSU will be the regional final matchup, and it's whoever wins that second game will be in the driver's seat. I'm going to take LSU to win it here. I want to see a Dallas Baptist LSU super regional, and even though North Carolina has been unbelievable at home, they're just catching this LSU team at the wrong time. Like these guys are really believing. And they think they can win the whole thing again.
I'm going to pivot off of everybody in the country. Everybody is picking LSU to win this regional. I love North Carolina in this spot at home, Chapel Hill. Give me North Carolina to win this regional and LSU at the runner-up.
North Carolina doesn't lose at home this year. They've been dominant. So I do think with Dimitri, that stage, like you're good, right, at the Bosch. Long Island's going to beat him with the spinning hats. I don't really need to go too far into depth. Wofford and J.J. Edwards have got one of the best offenses in the country. I do want to say this. I think LSU wins it. They better be really careful. I see LSU Twitter fighting it over right now. I would throw Gage Jump on Friday. Wofford's got a really good offense. Mm-hmm. I would throw Gage Jump on Friday and get off to a good start. I see LSU Twitter fighting over it. I do think this is LSU's regional. I think it's a bummer if you're a North Carolina fan and you're a number 4 overall seed and these guys roll into town as a 2. Like that's a dagger. So I will take LSU too. But man, how do you not sleep on the Shacks? I love the Shacks.
The Shock.
That. All right, 2 more regionals here. Santa Barbara.
The Shock.
Santa Barbara, the 1 seed, facing Fresno State as a 4. Oregon is a 3. San Diego is a 2. Late night college baseball action in beautiful Santa Barbara, California. I love this regional. Like I love the color mix. I'm going to love the uniform matchups. I love Santa Barbara at home. They're undefeated at home, fellas. 25-0. I think Oregon is going to be the runner-up. I still believe in this Oregon team. I think they're a dangerous 3 seed as well. Could potentially win this regional. And like San Diego, great story this year. You just look at like their high-end games. Like they played against Texas, they played against Dallas Baptist. They played a really tough non-conference schedule. They didn't do a whole lot of winning. In fact, they lost all the non-conference series against big opponents. So I have UC Santa Barbara winning this.
Are you sure about that, buddy? Go ahead and go to San Diego's second series of the year.
Who'd they beat?
Arizona.
All right. Well, all right. Point taken.
So this is a damn good San Diego team. On the road at Texas, on the road at Irvine, beat UC San Diego, took 2 out of 3 against Arizona, played in the Dodger Classic with Irvine, Michigan, UCLA. Went on the road to San Diego State, obviously down the road. Then went on the road to Dallas Baptist, on the road at Michigan. This is a very, very, very good San Diego team. Give me San Diego to win this regional, and Santa Barbara is the runner-up.
Dude, I kind of want to almost flip it. I think Santa Barbara getting a host is like such a badass story. Dimitri, you've made us fall in love with San Diego, but I think Oregon's really good. Like they've got all the portal pieces. Justin Casella, they've got a couple big lefty bats, are good on the mound. You know how I feel about my single-digit numbers on the bump. I'll take Oregon and Santa Barbara as the runner-up, but I could see any four. Like I even like Fresno a lot too, but I see all 4 teams being really, really, really good ball clubs. But I like Oregon and then Santa Barbara.
Sandy, the Toreros have won 18 of their last 19 games. Only one series loss in conference was on the road at Portland, who was playing really well at that time. And guys, this is a very – sorry, they lost St. Mary's first conference series of the year. But on the road at Michigan, hey, Michigan wasn't a bad baseball team. We saw them in the Big Ten tournament. They can play. On the road in Michigan, they did really well. They won a game at Dallas Baptist when Dallas Baptist was scorching hot. I'm just trying to convince the people that are listening, don't sleep on the San Diego team. Series win against San Diego. They played Texas really tough early in the year when Texas was playing somewhat well. And it's hard to win at the dish. Nobody walks into the dish and just win. So I love San Diego. I think Oregon is a very good play as well. But, yeah, I'm sticking with the Toreros.
Yep. All right, College Station Regional, last one here. Texas A&M hosting Grambling State, Texas, and Louisiana. Boys, I can see it now. Louisiana is going to be dogpiling. Raging Cajuns, they won the Sun Belt Conference, which is a really good conference, and it's just another look-ahead game. In fact, I want to say this is a bad spot for Texas A&M because Texas A&M is going to play the night game. They're going to watch Louisiana beat Texas game 1, and obviously they don't have to take Grambling State all that seriously. Like Grambling State against quad 1 games, they've been outscored by like 100. Really good story. So they're going to take Grambling State, like obviously jump out to a huge lead and coast. And they're not going to be focused on how good this Raging Cajuns team is. I think Texas has a look ahead game 1 against Louisiana. They could beat Louisiana for sure, but Louisiana, one of the grittiest teams in the country, led by one of the best coaches in the country. I think they get out of this regional and they win 3 games and they win. Just my personal opinion.
I love
that distraction of having Texas for Texas A&M in this regional is big. For Louisiana.
And once again, the script writers have it scripted. Georgia versus Georgia Tech regional final, Texas A&M regional final. The script has already been written. What's the guy's name from the big league that just retired? Hernandez. Angel Hernandez retired because he's going back to College Station to umpire this regional. Make sure the committee is paying him a lot of money. The NCAA is paying him a lot of money to make sure we get this Texas A&M regional final, and he will make it happen. That's why he retired right before the regional started.
It's good. It's really good for the bottom line. Really, really good for the bottom line. I'll tell you this though, I do think we get the matchup we're looking for. I went back and forth with this one. I did a ton of homework. I said it the other day how I really liked Gage Bam out of the back end. That's going to throw it in pretty much every game this weekend. I really like Jalen Flores. I think he's a top 3 shortstop in baseball. There's just so many. Bo Hustler's been so good for them. Texas A&M's too good, dude. We saw him in person, and I know we didn't get to see him for very long. Bro, they are – Lord Dubbington's massive. He looks like a DN. Give me Braden Montgomery. Like, this has been one of the best teams all year. I'd be shocked to not get to see him in a super. I do think Texas is going to give them a run for their money. And I'm a Sun Belt guy, so how the hell do I not take the Cajuns? But I just think it's a bad draw for everyone because of how good A&M is in College Station.
Yeah. Dumb pick on my part. I'm going to go ahead and say it. A&M's going to win. A&M's going to win this regional, but I'm taking Louisiana. I think that just the look-ahead game and having Texas in that bracket. But anyways, let's fly through these super regional picks here. Obviously, we don't have to spend a ton of time because these might not happen. But I have Tennessee losing to East Carolina just because I have my Omaha 8 here. I made it 2 a.m. So I guess I have East Carolina in Omaha. I have Florida State in Omaha. I have Mississippi State in Omaha, and I have Dallas Baptist beating LSU. The other side of the bracket, I have Kentucky beating Oregon State. I have Georgia beating Bryant. I have Nebraska beating Coastal Carolina, and I have UC Santa Barbara beating Louisiana. So my Omaha 8, East Carolina, Florida State, Mississippi State, Dallas Baptist, Kentucky, Georgia, Nebraska, UC Santa Barbara.
My Omaha 8, Tennessee over Wake Forest, Florida State over Duke, St. John over Arkansas, North Carolina over West Virginia, Texas A&M over San Diego, Oklahoma State over Vanderbilt, Georgia over South Carolina, and UC Irvine over Kentucky.
All right, I've got you always second guessing yourself, right? Tennessee, Duke, Virginia, LSU, Kentucky, South Carolina, Coastal A&M.
You know what's funny? Ben has East Carolina, Dallas Baptist, and Santa Barbara in Omaha. I've got Irvine and St. John. So, but we both have those two mid-majors.
Yeah.
Fire me up.
I have 3 mid-majors.
Yeah, I know you have 3. Jack, how many do you have? 0?
I've got one. Relax. I got SEC chalk as hell, but I do have 1.
What, Jack, read off your 8 again.
I hate the way it looks after I took them, though. You know what I mean? I got
sometimes you just hate the way it looks.
Yeah.
Tennessee, Duke, Virginia, LSU. Virginia's not an Omaha team, but like somehow they always get there. Kentucky, Carolina, Coastal A&M.
Okay. All right. And then let's pick our national champions here. So I have Florida State beating Dallas Baptist. Florida State's going to win bracket 1, and Dallas Baptist will be the runner-up. And then I have Kentucky as the winning bracket 2, and Santa Barbara being the runner-up. And I have the Kentucky Wildcats winning it all.
I love that.
Yeah. I think this is the year that Kentucky gets to Omaha, they break through, and they win the whole thing. I'm a big believer in both of these two teams, Kentucky and Florida State, after doing a bunch of research, where when they're playing their best baseball, like they are top 5 team in the country. Super undervalued here.
Guys.
Obviously, I think Santa Barbara and Dallas Baptist are the 2 mid-majors, and East Carolina as well. Like those 3 guys could win the national championship, but give me Kentucky over Florida State here in 3 games.
Wow. I have Florida State in bracket 1, Florida State winning, Carolina runner-up, Texas A&M winning, and Oklahoma State runner-up. I have Texas A&M beating Florida State to win the national championship. Guys, Texas A&M is like LSU of last year. Best team in the country. They showed everybody they were the best team. Just a little slip up at the end of the year just because they didn't want the number 1 overall seed. Tennessee did the favor for them, took the 1 overall seed. Texas A&M is the most talented team, and you've got to take talent this time of the year.
Yeah, I love that. I do love that. I actually just I subbed out. I think Wilmington's going to beat South Carolina in a super regional, which makes me feel a lot better about my 8 because then I have 2 super mid majors in there, and it actually does make sense. It won't matter though because in a year of parity and a year of the mid major, Tennessee's too good. Tennessee's too good, dude. Like they really are. I have them playing A&M too. I think they beat Kentucky in like a crazy shootout, which is like back and forth, and then Tennessee's just going to be sitting there waiting on them. I know that this is recency bias, but like to watch Tennessee bully their way through Hoover was so impressive, and like it leaves no shadow of a doubt that they can't do it in Nebraska later this summer.
Guys, I just noticed something. Is this the year 2005 or something? Because my Omaha is Tennessee, Florida State, St. John, North Carolina, UC Irvine, Georgia, Oklahoma State, Texas A&M. I feel like it's 2005 all over again.
Yeah. Dude, I think this is going to be a wild tournament. Like, I'm not saying that there's going to be any 4 seeds that make it to Omaha or like any like huge surprises. I think there's just a group of about 24 teams that could all see themselves in Omaha winning a super regional. One thing that like we could see happen, and I tweeted about it yesterday, is like we could see the top 9 MLB draft prospects all in Omaha between like the way the bracket works.
So chalky.
No, it's really not that chalky though, if you think about it. Like winning super regionals. But like for example, like let's see. Let me pull my tweet up so I have exactly what it was. But the way the bracket works out, you could have Wake Forest with Burns and Kurtz. You could have Florida State, Arkansas, West Virginia, Oregon State, Georgia, Florida, and A&M all in Omaha. And like imagine the ratings there. You get probably the top 8 or 9 MLB or college guys drafted in this year, all playing in Omaha 2 weeks before the MLB draft.
And you get some guys that dominate them in Omaha and get paid a lot of money, just like what's his name from Oklahoma?
Cade Horton.
Yep.
Cade Horton. I think Ryan Johnson could be the Cade Horton of this year. Like I think if he goes out and shoves, like I think he could see himself like a top half of the first round.
Yeah,
like kind of what Cade Horton did. But anyways, go ahead.
Hey, fellas,
I'm just saying, like
to the listeners out there, we're gonna have our toughest regional, easiest regional, hardest road to Omaha for a national seed. Best uniform regional and favorite 2, 3, and 4 seeds. We will have all that on our graphic tomorrow. So all our picks and our little support.
Do we not want to run through those real quick?
No, let's get it 11.
Oh, you got to go?
It's going to take too long.
Well, I can run through them. I've already got them written down.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I got them.
I think we should save them for the graphic. Make the listeners wait for the graphic to drop.
All right, let's do our favorite 2, 3, and 4 seeds right now.
Okay.
All right.
It'll take 2 minutes. All right, everybody's favorite 2 seed. Mine's Dallas Baptist.
My favorite 2 seed.
Mine's not close. Mine's Duke. Mine's Duke, no doubt. No doubt.
I think my favorite 2 seed is probably Duke or Wake Forest, to be honest.
Pick one. Pick one.
Actually, wait. San Diego. I have a 2 seed in Omaha, don't I? 2 seed, Duke. I don't have a single 2 seed in Omaha. Do I not? Oh yeah. Well, I do. UC Irvine.
All right. Favorite 3 seed. I think it's Coastal Carolina for me.
Yeah, I've got them in Omaha, right? Like I think they're one of those 3 seeds that like I could see so easily going 2 in a queue, or they end up in Omaha. Like no in between for me. So I'll go Coastal since you already have them. Why don't I go different? I'll have Oregon going deep. Give me Oregon. I think Oregon's got all the right pieces, so I'll take the Ducks.
St. John, favorite 3 seed for me.
Yep. All right, favorite 4 seed. I got the Bryant Bulldogs.
This is gonna be so tough.
I think I got to go with SEMA or Grand Canyon, maybe.
Yeah.
Oh my God! I don't have a single 4 seed of the runner-up. I hate it.
I like Long Island, or I do like High Point. So I don't really know what we want to do.
You know what? I'm just going to give some SEMO some publicity. Give me SEMO.
There you go.
Right with the boys. I'll go High Point. Yeah.
We'll put the rest in the graphic.
Give me your 2, 3, 4 so I can write it down.
All right. I have Dallas Baptist, I have Coastal, and I have Bryant.
Beautiful. Jack?
I had Duke, I had Oregon, and I had High Point.
Duke, Oregon, High Point. Got it. Toughest, easiest, hard to road to Omaha, and best uniform. Take your time on that. We'll need more time to get those correct.
All right. I know Jack and Dimitri both have to run here. Appreciate everybody listening. We're going to try to do maybe like a live show Friday, like I said. I think it'll be a lot of fun. But anyways, if you guys need anything, let us know. Appreciate everybody for subscribing to the YouTube and to the podcast. Y'all have a good one.
One more thing. Home field apparel, 15% off. You can get 15% off and make the ladies Niagara Falls and now Stillwater.